Lesson 3, the acid-alkaline balance. The purpose of eating raw foods is to lead you down a corridor so that you see doors that would not have opened to you previously, to allow your intuition and food instincts to become clearer, to move you from one opportunity to another, from one synchronicity to another, and to bring you into a more profound symmetry. All of these aspects become reality when one finds balance eating raw foods, balance being the key word. Most nutritionists now agree that maintaining a balance of acidity and alkalinity in our bodily tissues is one of the primary roles of nutrition. This balance of acidity to alkalinity is usually referred to as pH, parts hydrogen. The acid-alkaline pH balance ranges from totally acid at 0.0 to totally alkaline at 14.0, with 7.0 being neutral. The role of minerals. 95% of the body's activities are run by minerals, not vitamins. Our biochemistry is mineral dependent. Generally, the higher the concentration of minerals within a food, the better. Wild foods on average contain the most minerals. Homegrown and organic foods also contain a significant quantity of minerals as compared to commercial, chemically grown foods. The beauty of our hair, skin, and nails depends on how mineralized we are. As you eat heavily mineralized raw plant food in the right balance, you will become like a beautiful fruit tree firmly rooted in the earth with a deep and solid foundation. We need both alkaline and acid-forming foods to be healthy and in balance. Acid-forming foods are not, in and of themselves, bad. They are simply acid-forming. An excess of acidity is, however, quite harmful over the short and long term, as it leads to inflammation, contraction, stiffness, tissue degeneration, water retention, itchy skin, calcification, and more. The mineral directive principle. Minerals are built up in the different parts of a plant or animal based on some unknown directive principle. Some areas of the plant or animal get the acid-forming minerals. Some areas get the alkaline-forming minerals. For example, mature wheat plants may contain up to 67% silica, an alkaline-forming compound, and even as much as 87% silica in the husk. However, no silica is found in the grain seed. The grain seed contains a preponderance of phosphorus, an acid-forming mineral, in quantities far exceeding anything found in any other part of the plant. The acid-alkaline chart is based on the mineral directive principle, which states that minerals are attracted to different areas of plants and animals. As the chart demonstrates, alkaline minerals are found in the leaves and stems of plants and in the bones of animals. Acidic minerals are found in the seeds and roots of plants and the muscles of animals. Fruits and flowers may be slightly acidic, slightly alkaline, or neutral. The organs and tissues of animals may be slightly acidic, slightly alkaline, or neutral. An understanding of this chart is what I call primitive knowledge. This is because primitive peoples all over the world appear to intuitively understand this balance. From this chart, we can begin to understand why civilization's diet is so acidic. Western civilization's diet consists mostly of roots, seeds, and animal muscles. This is translated into a burger. The bun is seeds, the meat is a muscle, and French fries, roots. This is translated into a fancy steak, muscle, potato, root, and peas, seeds. The standard rice and beans dish is nothing more than seeds, acid-forming. Remember, if a food is acidic, that is not a bad thing. We need to eat foods that are both acidic and alkaline, and we require these in a balance. Neither is more important than the other. However, alkaline food is usually more important in the beginning years of changing our eating habits. Watermelon rind is alkaline. The fleshy fruit is neutral in its effect on pH. The edible seeds are slightly acidic. Acidity and stimulants. Sure signs of acidity are a coffee habit, the desire to smoke cigarettes or marijuana, abuse of alcohol, and use of cocaine and/or other stronger legal or illegal drugs. These drugs contain alkaline stimulants, sometimes called alkaloids, that simulate the feeling of alkalinity and make one high for a while before one comes back down. These drugs have a harsh edge to them. They deplete essential nutrients, exhaust the adrenal glands, and irritate and thicken the skin, lungs, and other organs. When one is acidic, then one may feel pleasantly relaxed or happy while taking these drugs. A major factor in overcoming these addictions is to create an acid-alkaline balance in the body. Once there is an acid-alkaline balance, then these drugs no longer make one high but actually create a low. Types of foods and their acidity, alkalinity. Fruits. A fruit is an edible product of a plant that contains the seed for reproduction. Certainly, fruits are the most enchanting of all food groups. Fruits vary quite greatly in alkalinity and acidity. Based on the minerals they contain, some fruits are classified as alkaline, while others are slightly acidic, and some are neutral. Alkaline fruits carob, olives, figs, papaya, pineapple, rambutan, grapefruit, lemon, lime, oranges, tangerines, citrus fruits, grapes with seeds, cherries, pomegranate, prickly pear, wild apples, hot chiles, blackberries, raspberries, huckleberries, loganberries, passion fruit, cranberry, okra, barrel cactus fruit, kiwi, etc. Neutral fruits, melons, all types, including watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, Crenshaw, etc. Apples, bell pepper, cucumber, tomato, mango, mangosteen strawberries, blueberries, jackfruit, dragon fruit, apricots, peaches, nectarines, guava, persimmon with seeds, lychees, pumpkin, breadfruit, starfruit, noni loquats, strawberry guavas, milk fruit, etc. Slightly acidic fruits: banana, avocado, cherimoya, durian, plums, dates, mulberry, sapote, mamey, persimmons without seeds, grapes without seeds, prunes, dried fruits except for figs, cacao, sugar apples, soursop, ackee, etc. Malva, a common wild green leafy garden food, Kirlian image. Flowers. Flowers are a pleasant treat on any salad. They actually have quite amazing nutritional properties. The pollen of flowers, for example, is a high-grade protein containing many trace minerals. This is collected by bees and is usually available in health food stores as bee pollen. Bee pollen is best eaten fresh. It goes rancid quickly. To test if bee pollen is rancid, place some into a bottle of water and shake vigorously. Then let the water and pollen sit. If the pollen sinks, it is good and fresh. If it floats, it is rancid. Green leafy vegetables. Green leafy vegetables are probably the most important group of foods. Green leaves are the best source of alkaline minerals, contain the best fiber, have many calming, anti-stress properties, and are the best source of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a blood builder and one of nature's greatest healers. Root vegetables. These vary from neutral to acidic in nature. Radishes, onions, and burdock root are the closest to neutral, while potatoes and carrots are more acidic. The toxic compounds solanine and chaconine, known to be found in the eye of the potato, are actually present throughout the entire potato. A staple diet of potatoes robs vitamin A from the system. Because potatoes are extremely hybridized, they attract the attention of various fungi looking to weed out the weak. Because of the prevalence of fungal breakouts in standard hybrid potatoes, they must be treated with large amounts of fungicides. Nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds include all well-known nut and seed varieties, from macadamia nuts to pumpkin seeds and everything in between. Grain and rice products also fall into the category of nuts and seeds. Thus, bread and pasta are seed products. Nuts and seeds contain explosive phosphoric compounds that create the potential for quick growth of a young plant. All nuts and seeds are acidic in nature, with some being less acidic than others. Millet is definitely less acidic than wheat grain. Almonds are less acidic than walnuts or macadamia nuts. Grains, breads, and other cooked grains in general are coarse foods. If one's metabolism primarily burns fat and or protein as a fuel, starchy breads will cause excessive weight gain and puffiness in the face. If one primarily burns carbohydrate sugars as a fuel, then cooked fat, oil will cause weight gain and facial puffiness. Sprouted grain is a better option than cooked grain. Meat. Meat denotes the muscle of an animal. This includes fish, pork, steak, chicken, beef, hamburger, duck, lamb, rabbit, goose, Cornish hen, etc. Meat is built up of phosphoric compounds and is acidic in nature. Bone. Bone marrow is an alkaline fat source, a relatively rare commodity in nature. Olives are one of the only plant-based alkaline fat sources. If one is going to get an adequate acid-alkaline balance eating meat, muscle, One must eat the bones like the animals do in order to get at the alkaline minerals there. This is the natural way of things, but is generally not recommended because the bones of factory-farmed animals contain sizable percentages of toxins, including heavy metals such as lead. Dairy products. This category includes the milk products of cows and goats, cheese, goat's cheese, whey, milk, kefir, yogurt, etc. Based on their high alkaline mineral content, dairy products are alkaline if one can digest them. That is a big if, because most people do not have the enzymes necessary to digest dairy products from cows. Soda, pop. Soda is by far the most acid-forming of all foods. Soda is not really a food or drink at all, but a collection of acidic chemicals, carbonic acid, phosphoric acid, etc. One 8-ounce glass of soda is so acid-forming that it requires 38-ounce glasses of water to dilute it and normalize the pH. There is no radiance or majesty in the acid chemical soup called soda. Soda demineralizes the bones, teeth, and skin. Other elements of the acid-alkaline balance. Alkaline, foods rich in alkaline minerals, faith, hope, friendship, chlorophyll, love, green juice, spring water at the source, laughter, deep breathing, medicinal herbs. Acid, foods rich in acidic minerals, worry, stress, hatred, sugar, fear, alcohol, tap water, anger, shallow breathing, drugs, chemicals, or toxins. Symptoms of being too acidic: tense muscles, stress, headaches, anger, short temper, chronic negative thoughts, addictions to coffee, cigarettes, smoking marijuana, cocaine, crystal methamphetamine, ecstasy, etc. Itchy skin, acne. Symptoms of being too alkaline: laziness, spaciness, lack of drive, excessively passive, feelings of being too cold, weakness.